What's going on, everyone? I wanted to make a quick review over our sauna here. So I wanted to quickly cover some of the positives, maybe some of the negatives that are here, and also some of the improvements that we made just for a better experience. So first thing, when you're going through the construction of it, I definitely recommend 2 people. The fitment overall was very, very solid. I did have a few alignments here, like a few alignment issues, and what I did was I just ran a bead of silicone here just to keep any heat from coming out. Overall, the machine is pretty, I would say that it takes a while to heat up, let's say 30-45 minutes, and my first time heating it up, it took about 30 minutes. And then after that, when it started to cool down a little bit in the garage, it started taking 45 minutes and sometimes even an hour. So what I did was I went through and I started to find areas where the heat was escaping, and that has helped it significantly. So some of the improvements I definitely recommend making is getting some towel hooks here, just so you always have those nearby, because otherwise your sweat will start to stain. You can see that my sweat has started to stain some of these areas here. So they definitely recommend keeping towels down so you don't stain it. I didn't listen the first time around, and that was the result of it. So I definitely recommend getting some towel hooks here. I recommend running silicone in any areas where there might be a gap. So like I can see here that there's a little bit of a gap, so I should probably run more silicone over here. The other thing, I have ran into an issue so far with the floor not heating up. So that is a big contributor to it taking a long time to heat up now. So I'm going to be reaching out to them to see if I can get a manufacturer replacement for that. But overall, the machine is beautiful. It's very, very functional. There's definitely going to be a little bit of alignment issues just straight out from the factory. So I added this here because what you'll notice is when you're inside the unit and the door is shut, let me see if I can show you here, the glass is kind of bowed, so it doesn't sit really flush against these little seals that they have here. And the result of that is, especially if you have this in any air conditioned type area, or even if it's in a garage like this where it's not air conditioned, I could feel cold air blowing in from the bottom because the seals weren't really tight. So I actually had to move this back slightly just so the door stayed a little bit more closed. It still didn't fix it 100%, but it definitely made it heat up a lot faster. So I did run this felt all the way around. I'm actually going to replace it for more something like this and just kind of go double the thickness up here so the door has a nice seal on it, because it is closed, or it is bowed when it is closed. So but overall, if you are even slightly handy in the least, you can turn this thing into something that's, you know, a rock star of a sauna. So you can turn this on. So I hear a lot of people talking about the light, like how you can't change it. You can change it. I really don't know the exact science of it. It's a little bit weird, but I believe, do I hold it? Yeah. So when you hold that, you can change these outside lights by hitting the up button, and then by hitting down, that turns it off. And then as you press the light button here, it will cycle through other colors. And then basically you can get to like this color here, whatever color that is, it basically starts cycling through, which is how it defaults. And then I think basically what I did was, once I hit start over here, or I turned the unit off or something like that, I was able to get that to go away. So then it locks into whatever color you had when that happened. So I'll bring mine back to blue. Let me get it here. There we go. So I'm going to turn this on real quick, and we're going to see how this heats up. All right, so I have my little thermal camera here, and we can see there's definitely going to be some inconsistencies with these heating elements. So you have that one there in the center that's really, really hot. You have a few of them. They're definitely a little bit. So you got the one there on the left-hand side is 130, 140 degrees. That one in the center is sitting around 70 degrees, 140, 70-ish, 150. So right there, you can see the problem with my floor, my heating elements there. So right here, right there in the center, like it's actually cold, like feels cold to the touch, but then around there, it's like searing hot for your feet. So I believe my heating element is pretty defective. Maybe I'm misunderstanding how this should work, but literally, when sweat's dripping on it, it will sizzle down there, but up here it's really, really cold. And it starts to affect because all the cold, sits at the bottom of the sauna and then all the heat rises up. So literally if you stand up in this thing, it's really, really hot. And then, but if you get down low or when you start like slouching over because the heat's getting to you, you start to really notice that it's really cold down there. And if I hop in here real quick, it might be hard to see. Now you can see it. So up here in the corners, that is like a really prime example of like where the heat will start to escape. So you'll notice that you'll lose a lot of heat. Your temperature will go from 150 down to 146, and then it takes a while to get back up. Again, that's what I saw down here. So I was actually getting like a fog at the bottom, and then when I pull the door nice and tight, the fog would go away. Amateur mistake that I've made a couple times, this vent up here, you kind of let that out sometimes, but then, if you go to heat it up and you forget that that's open, it's going to take absolutely forever. But otherwise, you can see it's a really, really solid unit. I did put like little caps over here. But overall, the speaker is outstanding. Again, the construction of it for the price is outstanding. So if you're on the fence about it, I think that it's a really dang good investment. And the heating elements and stuff like that is definitely something you can get aftermarket if you really needed to. So long term down the road, as long as the construction of it is in good shape, then you should always be able to find some sort of solution for finding new elements if you need it. And then same thing with like the floor. It's I hope that they'll do the right thing and get me a replacement if that is a defect. But ultimately, I can get some new elements down there, and it's very, very easy to get to them. You undo a few screws there, and then the whole seat will come up, and then you just have access right to the plug. So very, very easy. Like I said, it'll take about, let's say, 45 minutes for me, depending on what the ambient temperature is in the garage. But overall, I absolutely love it. It takes about 15 minutes for me to really, really, really start sweating. And then after, 20 minutes in, it's almost time to call it quits. So otherwise, things I wish I had, I wish you could set it on a timer, like as far as like remotely, like via an app or something like that. But, I get done with doing whatever I'm doing. I come turn it on. I set the timer to an hour because I know it's going to take at least 30, 45 minutes to heat up. And then, once I get in there, I'll turn it back up to, 30, 45 minutes just so I can spend that time in there, and then everything's good. If you put the timer too low, it will time out before it even heats up. And then, if you take any extra time, it'll be, it'll be off and lose all its heat while you're there. So yeah, overall, very, very happy with it. And it fits perfect. Again, it went together like super easy because it has all these clamps on the side, and you really just clip everything together like a Lego set. And yeah, it's perfect. So, all right, if you guys have any questions, just leave a comment or something like that, and I'll try to answer it for you. Thanks.